Terrifying tariffs. Whatever, man. Pre-orders are still going on. Hey guys, Jay. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, with a lot of uncertainty that's happening in the world in terms of its overall distribution for action figures, the action figure community has been reeling back, trying to figure out what they're going to do or what's going to be the future for action figures going forward in this new age of action figure collecting with all of these additional fees that are going to be added pretty soon. The dreaded T word, that's right everybody, the tariffs, continue to loom on all of our minds, but at the very least, the production continues at Hasbro and many other manufacturers as the collecting just doesn't stop really for the collecting community, as more action figures from G.I. Joe Classified apparently will be up for pre-order as early as tomorrow on places like Entertainment Earth and other fan channels. And thanks to our good friends over at ToyHabits.com, we got the inside scoop as to when we can expect these to drop. And I want to take a deep dive into this and see exactly when these pre-orders are going to go live. So without further ado, guys, let's take a look and see what happened on ToyHabits.com as the pre-orders for G.I. Joe Classified continue in 2025. Let's have a look. Well, looks like pre-orders for the brand new line of action figures from G.I. Joe Classified are actually going live pretty soon. And I wanted to cover this as Toy Habits has unveiled exactly when these are going to go up for pre-order. If we head over to ToyHabits.com, you can definitely check out this article, April 2025 pre-orders for G.I. Joe Classified series. This was written by Michael on April 13th, 2025, and there they are, everybody. So they also have links to where you can pick these up. You definitely have to subscribe to ToyHabits.com. Give them a like and a follow because they're doing amazing work for all of us who are collectors. This, of course, is pretty amazing, and let's take a deep dive into this as there's a lot to take in here, guys. The first figure we're going to take a look at is Major Bludd. Now, Major Bludd was already released in the line multiple times, both on the regular G.I. Joe Classified a number of years ago, as well as on a classic card. But this Major Bludd has some upgrades, and we can also see the actual packaging design that's included with the figure, which is more in line with the more recent versions of the G.I. Joe Classified line. Taking a much closer look, it really is apparent that this is more just of a repaint on certain areas of his overall gear. The helmet, the dog tags, the vest, although it has all of these red highlights everywhere. Looking at the original release, it was all there, but I think that this new color scheme is actually much more interesting, as he was pretty much almost monotone type color in the original release. This one has a lot more contrast, as most of his armor bits are in black. His overall fatigues are more in that same drab olive brown type of color. He's a standard pack out as usual with his dog tags, his revolver, the single blaster, and of course his backpack. As you can see here, it is pretty much the exact same pack out as previously released, but still makes for a great figure overall, especially with this new paint deco that has been applied to the figure. Fully decked out, he really does look like almost a Terminator type of idea with all this new equipment. He's definitely a fan favorite and will definitely be on the want list for many G.I. Joe Classified fans. The front of the packaging is very familiar to G.I. Joe fans by now. This has been on several different figures of their releases. And the rear depicts Major Bludd in the middle of combat, and we can even see a few little Easter eggs, including the snake armor in the background, backing him up as he assaults the Joes in urban warfare. He is number 166 in the line, Major Bludd. Then we come down to a really cool character. Holy crap. This is Snake Eyes 2.0 from the comic books, and I gotta tell you, a lot of people have been waiting for this figure, as he is a fan favorite, bar none. Here we can see him in his new blue fatigues, the sneaking suit, if you will. Very similar to his original getup for Snake Eyes, except, of course, the colors are very, very different. He has the military-style vest, along with all those pockets where he can put multiple magazines or anything he'd like to carry. He has the kunai attached to his thigh pouch, along with a holster for his gun. And, of course, those ninja-type boots, those ninja shoes with that little piece in the middle. I guess it's for toe grip. I never really have understood what those are for. He also comes with a grappling hook, the two Arashikage blades, as well as a fully automatic rifle. Moving up further, the signature piece for Snake Eyes in this instance is, of course, his helmet, which has this front ski mask type design, along with the goggles, harkening back to his original look from the television series, as well as his original release in the 1982 3 3/4 inch figures, where he was depicted in all black. Snake Eyes is, of course, a fan favorite, and he really looks very special here in his brand new color scheme. And, of course, fans of the original comic book will definitely want to collect Snake Eyes. On the reverse of the box, box, we can see that there's some really cool Easter eggs, including, oh my gosh, guys, is that a Fang? It certainly looks like it, and many of us have been waiting for smaller vehicles to be able to afford and build out more scenes for our action figures, and this is another example of that because the Fang, of course, is one of those very popular single-pilot vehicles, which of course is so fondly remembered by multiple fans throughout the years. And seeing it here, teased on the back of the artwork, is absolutely stunning. Can't wait until we get our first official glimpse at the Fang for G.I. Joe Classified. The next figure in the line is Monkeywrench, another Dreadnok to fill out the evil factions which fight against G.I. Joe. Monkeywrench, of course, an explosives expert as well as a maniacal tyrant. He looks awesome with his overall pack out. Zooming in closer, we can see that he's got that crazy look in his eyes. Looks like he's played with one too many explosives as well, as it seems like he's got a rather large scar on the left side of his face. He also has that rebreather mask, which he was known for in the series. It has the red and blue eye for the overall rebreather, which is extremely striking. He also has his signature sunglasses, as well as his bandana, which you can put on top of his face. He has a single revolver, very old school in its overall appearance. He's got a trident rifle, which is interesting. I believe it does shoot out triple laser blasts from the trident itself. He's got two axes, which are single wielding, and actually I believe these are modified climbing gear. Actually, upon closer inspection, I think these are actually modified monkey wrenches. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's insane. And a pair of swappable fists. His overall getup is amazing. I think there might be some borrowed or shared legs from Torch or maybe Ripper. And that vest? That is an interesting looking vest. I wonder if eventually we might get a Mercer utilizing this type of design, as I'm sure the Renegades are not too far away, seeing as the ranks of the Dreadnoks are really starting to build. I really love the attention to detail with all of the tattoo work. You can see the two monkey wrenches on the side with this Jolly Rogers inspired tattoo. And the fact that his gas mask, or rebreather if you will, comes with a brand new hair sculpt. That is really neat, giving it a completely different look for Monkeywrench altogether. Monkeywrench, of course, is the maniacal explosives expert for the Dreadnoks. Taking a look at the back of Monkeywrench, we actually can see he can holster one of those Monkeywrench axes on his back. That is really cool. And of course, he's got all those wonderful accessories. Really digging into the idea of the Dreadnok design. The Dreadnoks just keep enlisting more and more crazy individuals into the ranks. The reverse actually shows some interesting Easter eggs as well. Oh my gosh, Cold Slither is everywhere in this picture. It looks like they're a garage band here. I think the Dreadnoks have been secretly making this band for a long time. There's their poster for one of their gigs. We can see some speakers, the drum kit, and even a fan to keep the room relatively cool. This is freaking awesome. Seeing Cold Slither and Monkeywrench, who's probably going to be a roadie, wouldn't you think? This is awesome. And finally, we come down to the most anticipated figure in this line, I think. That's right, everybody. It is Armored Cobra Commander. Holy crap. This guy has been on people's radars for a long time. I think a lot of people have been asking for this version of Cobra Commander. And it brings up some other little details, which we won't really get into right now, but I think it's going to be amazing to see this guy in action figure form. Zooming in closer, we can see that his pack out is actually well thought out. Not only does he have the traditional head sculpt for Cobra Commander, originally released in 1987, but we have a secondary head sculpt, which actually is a little bit more reptilian in its overall appearance. We can see here that there is a human flesh tone with humanoid eyes in the swappable head, but the main head, which is on top of the figure, actually has reptilian eyes with reptilian details. That's amazing. Moving down further, we can see that this is a very traditional version of battle armor Cobra Commander with the blues, the silver highlights, the tubing that goes everywhere, the holster for his sidearm, the robotic-looking armored legs, that massive rifle which he actually carries around, his signature backpack, which is very much in line with the way it looked with the original character, two fists, one pointing hand, which you absolutely need with Cobra Commander, and the iguana, which of course is a reference to the Deke animated series where Nagahide's pet iguana was actually merged with Serpentor to dehumanize him into a similar fate as Cobra Commander when the spores turned him into a snake. They would eventually turn Serpentor into an iguana hybrid. Including the iguana with Cobra Commander is quite fitting, as it completes the Naugahyde set. And I think eventually we probably will get a chance to also collect a Serpentor iguana somewhere down the line. Cobra Commander really looks quite striking and is of course a fan favorite version of Cobra Commander, including myself, and is really quite a different take on Cobra Commander, giving him a little bit more of a backbone than his previous rendition. And once he goes on sale, he probably will be one of the first to go out of stock. So don't sleep on this one, guys. Definitely get ready for the pre-order. On the reverse of the card, we do see another wonderful Easter egg. In the background, that is the same temple where Cobra was hiding out, in which the Baroness was able to restore Cobra Commander to his new self, as well as Noghide's iguana was used on that platform to transform Serpentor to an iguana hybrid. According to my good friends over at toyhabits.com, pre-orders will go on sale as early as tomorrow, April 15th, 2025, and this was actually teased on Entertainment Earth. As we can see here, scrolling from the top on their release schedule, a drop will happen on April 15th at 10 a.m. Pacific Time. Suit up. New recruits are coming in and we need to be ready. Sign up for a reminder and meet the pre-orders as soon as they go live. That really does coincide with this new announcement from Toy Habits, and it looks like all of these releases, including the Cobra Claw glider, will also be up for pre-order. There are no actual production photos of those figures or the glider itself, but our good friends over at Toy Habits have actually noted that there could be leaked images of these figures. Definitely head over to toyhabits.com, check out that article. I'll have links in the description below where you guys can read up all about it. Remember, guys, give Toy Habits a like and a follow. Tell them that Jay sent you. G.I. Joe Classified continues to release amazing new figures, even while this tariff situation has action figure collectors a little bit wary. As the future for action figures continues to loom, there's no shortage of action figure pre-orders and releases for the G.I. Joe Classified series. Yo, Joe, everybody. Cobra. Well, unfortunately, the reality is that these sort of things are just going to be a normal thing from now on. The dreaded T word, the tariffs, are seemingly not going anywhere. And until something changes on the negotiation table or internationally, it looks like a lot of things are going to be changing on a very daily, maybe even hourly basis as the ever-evolving situation with these negotiations for tariffs across the world continue. And unfortunately for us as collectors, this is a very precarious situation, as there have been rumors of action figures hiking as high at 145% on top of what's already being suggested for the manufacturer's suggested retail price. There have already been a lot of people and a lot of companies that have made statements on what they plan to do for these tariffs, how they plan to mitigate and reduce the costs that are going to be hitting consumers at the end of the day. But unfortunately, until something's actually worked out, we don't really know what the overall situation is going to be. But on the bright side, action figures continue to be announced, and they are continuously being up for pre-order, including tomorrow, when the new G.I. Joe Classified series for Monkeywrench, the new Snake Eyes 2.0, Major Bludd, and, of course, Armored Cobra Commander will go up for pre-order tomorrow, beginning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So set your alarm clocks, everybody, because Cobra Commander and these are going to be very, very sought after. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what are your thoughts about these brand new figures being put up for pre-order during what Danny has coined as the terrifying time to be an action figure collector. Are you guys still going to be pre-ordering this, knowing that they could possibly be hit with some sort of additional tariff price on top of what you're already paying? But it doesn't matter to you, as you are really looking forward to these action figures. Or are these terrifying tariffs really giving you pause in terms of your overall collecting habits, and you're going to wait and see exactly what's going to happen in the near future for action figure collecting? Let me know those comments in the comment section below, guys. Toy news continues in 2025, everybody, and these tariffs are terrifying, exactly as my good friend Danny Green has been saying, and it means that action figures themselves are in flux. As a matter of fact, Danny Green and myself tried to make some sense out of this on our broadcast over at Titans Talking Toys, and we talked about a few different solutions, including sales for tariff-free action figures on TitanToys.com. You can check out that video right here, and we'll see you guys there. Hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Set your alarms, everybody, because this is one you don't want to be sleeping on. Cobra! Yo, Joe. Good journey, everybody. Geek proud.